Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we're diving deep into one of the deadliest and most mysterious species in the entire My Vampire System universe, the Dalki. If you've been following the story, you know these green-skinned monsters are more than just mindless beasts. They're intelligent, strategic, and terrifyingly powerful. But before we begin, spoiler alert, this video will explore major events from Quinn's journey and the Dalki's true origins, so watch at your own risk. Alright, let's begin. The arrival of the Dalki. It all began during Quinn Talon's journey, when humanity was still struggling to adapt to the Age of Abilities. Out of nowhere, a strange alien race appeared on Earth. They called themselves the Dalki, and their arrival was nothing short of catastrophic. The skies darkened as enormous alien warships descended. The first attack came without warning. Cities were obliterated, millions of lives were lost, and humanity was thrown into chaos. But humans are survivors. In this new era, some people had awakened extraordinary abilities, and among them were warriors strong enough to stand against the Dalki. One of these fighters was Leo, Quinn's teacher, a master swordsman who fought fiercely in the First Dalki War. Yet even with these heroes, humanity could only barely survive. The Dalki were not just invaders. They were calculating predators, learning from every battle, and planning their next move. The First War ended without complete victory. And the worst part? The Dalki were preparing to return, stronger than ever. The Dalki weren't gone. They were simply waiting. While large-scale battles slowed down, the fighting never truly stopped. Here and there, in scattered skirmishes, humans continued to face Dalki warriors. Even Quinn himself encountered them during an academy expedition. What was supposed to be a routine mission quickly turned deadly when a Dalki appeared. The battle was brutal. Peter, Quinn's friend, was nearly killed. In desperation, Quinn used his vampire powers to save him by turning Peter into one of the undead. This moment would forever change Peter's fate and Quinn's journey. The Dalki are terrifying to behold, towering green-skinned creatures with spikes protruding from their backs. Even their blood runs green. But the most dangerous thing about them? They think. They speak human languages. They build weapons, command armies, and even design massive alien warships capable of wiping out entire cities. Their strength is tied to the number of spikes on their backs. One spike, already far stronger than a normal human. Even with Quinn's vampire powers, defeating a single spike Dalki in his early days was almost impossible. Two spikes, not just twice as strong, their power is more than doubled. As the spikes increase, so does their combat ability at an exponential rate. The strongest Dalki in the story eventually reach 8 spikes, warriors so powerful they rival or even surpass Celestials and God-slayers. For the longest time, everyone believed the Dalki were just another alien race invading Earth. But the truth is far more disturbing. The Dalki were created by vampires. As we know, vampires require blood to survive. To sustain themselves without relying entirely on humans, they settled on another planet and began experimenting. They created human clones to serve as a blood source, but some vampires wanted more. They wanted stronger blood, and they sought to engineer a new species to solve the blood supply problem. One of these scientists was Vincent Eno, along with his uncle. Using one of the 2 legendary dragon crystals, they conducted genetic experiments, merging different species in hopes of creating the perfect blood host. The result was the Dalki, but something went wrong. The Dalki escaped into the galaxy. They could not reproduce naturally. Every Dalki had to be artificially created. This made them incomplete creatures. To become complete, they needed the second dragon crystal, and that crystal was on Earth. So their hatred for humans wasn't just about revenge, it was about survival. They wanted the crystal, and they were willing to eradicate humanity to get it. Over time, the Dalki continued to evolve, adding more spikes and pushing human ability users to their limits. Some battles became legendary, including confrontations where even 8-spike Dalki clashed with the strongest fighters in the universe. Quinn's path would eventually bring him face to face with these monsters again, but by then, he was no longer just the boy who could barely survive against a 1-spike Dalki. He had become something far greater, and the Dalki would learn that the prey they once hunted had become a predator of his own. And that, my friends, is the deadly truth about the Dalki, their arrival, their nature, and their horrifying origins. They are not just another alien race. They are the result of vampire ambition, scientific arrogance, and an experiment gone terribly wrong. From 1-spike grunts to 8-spike titans, the Dalki remain some of the most dangerous enemies humanity and Quinn have ever faced. If you enjoyed this deep dive into my vampire system, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which character, species, or storyline you want me to cover next. Until then, stay safe out there.